Thank you for joining me again. I think this week's vlog I'm going to split up into two because there was a lot of pictures and videos. Next week's vlog will be about a chateau that I can only describe as being bizarre. So if you're interested, click the notification bell and you'll be notified when I post that video. I couldn't sleep, so I got up early in the morning, got ready, thought I'd go for a walk. The door to the restaurant and bar was locked, but there was a back door, so I went out there, and then I thought, wonder if I can get back in. No, the door was locked. And I still hadn't figured out my SIM card yet, so I was locked out. But that was a problem for later. I walked around in Châteauroux, and I wasn't sure if anything would be open on a Sunday, but I did come across a boulangerie that was open. So I grabbed a cafe and croissant, and there was this beautiful church across the road. The thing I love about Europe is the architecture and the history and the craftsmanship that goes into these buildings that have been standing for hundreds of years to be admired. Houses nowadays, they slap them up and they're falling apart in 5 years, if they make it that far. You could just sit there for hours and see new things. I wish I understood the carvings. I am sure there's a lot of meaning behind them all, but I can still appreciate the work that went into them. Now, I couldn't sit there for hours because it started raining. So now is the time to figure out how I was going to get back into the hotel. Luckily, by the time I got there, the doors were open. So while Selena got ready, I went to the bar and grabbed an espresso. It was a thimble size of espresso. We had to stop at McDonald's and charge the car before we got out onto the road. And the bathroom at McDonald's, painted on the wall were instructions on how to do origami with toilet paper. It was very interesting. We got out onto the road and we're headed to Limoges. There was chateaus and just beautiful scenery the whole way. It's definitely worth taking the smaller back roads. We're coming down this one road and this just stunning scenery appeared. A valley with a river running below. Luckily there was parking right across the road. The place was called Le Pet. Yeah, I'm horrible with my French. I am working on it. There is a picture with the name of it. All I could imagine sitting there was riding a horse down the hill, along the river. I thought about rolling down the hill, but I would have had to walk back up the hill, so we're sticking with the horse. I would have just loved flying down that hill on a horse. It would have been incredible. Maybe one day. Across the road where we parked, there was this concrete building, little stone steps leading up to it. There was no door. It ended up being at the back of the building. We went through the door and there was this like open cubicle type room with a grate in the floor and little foot spots to put your feet. That was the toilet. And apparently the sink had running water. I wouldn't know that because I didn't go there. Someone else might have. Down the road there was this really pretty village built into the hill, Gargilesse. We stopped there for another cafe and a pastry. Met a dog from Germany, so I got lots of kisses and cuddles with him. And then it was a rainy day, but we still went and explored Gargilesse. Gargilesse has a lot of artisan shops, so we checked out the shops. 12th century church of Notre Dame. It had a tomb in there from 1266. You go down these stone steps that are worn. How many people have gone down these steps to wear them? I just love that. And you go into the crypt. There were paintings from the 13th century discovered underneath 15th and 16th century plaster. And the walls and ceilings were just covered with them. They look like they were just done. They were just beautiful. walking through the village, there was this wall and it had flower pots cemented into it with plants in there. It was so neat. Passion flowers were blooming and wisteria. My cat wants to join in to the video. This is Gigi. She's 18. She would like to be a part of the video. She's a very grumpy cat. Hey. On the edge of Gargilesse, there was this path that was calling to me. It was wet, so Selena wasn't wearing proper footwear. So I went on my own, and the path was covered with leaves and these trees covered in moss, and it was so quiet and peaceful. I would have loved to explore it more, but I didn't want to leave Selena on her own. We found a little restaurant in Gargilesse to have lunch. So after lunch, we got back out onto the road and headed to the Bizarre Chateau. Hope you enjoy the photos and videos, and hope you stick around.